All right, I'm cutting in real quick, even though, ooh, I'm dirty. I've been working. So we'll show you that as you watch the video, but we got to show you right now and interject at the beginning of the video that all of the tricycle shirts came in. And yeah, you guys, I'm sure, want to see them. So do that. There's the front, nice and simple. And then the back. And you guys may be wondering, but we're gonna have to do a tricycle race down here. Yeah, the guys all want to do one, so either we'll build two and it'll be kind of like a eliminations thing where we just race one at a time, or we'll all build one and hopefully not all hurt each other. Anyways, let's get on to the video. If you guys didn't know, we do merch, winwithksr.com. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you think you're subscribed, please check your subscription. Look down in the corner and clicky the little subscribe-y button. Yep, I just said clicky the little subscribe-y button. Anyways, thanks to all of you that have subscribed and bought merch and all that good stuff. Let's get to working on the car. I think it's a little after 8 o'clock right now, but I think I might have some allergy stuff going. It's that time of the year in Florida, and this is the week of the Gator Nationals. So later this week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we'll be out at the Gator Nationals hanging out with Clay Milliken. So that's gonna make it a little difficult to get a video done for the Cutlass. So I came in early to try and get that filmed. And I've got something special that's been here for a little while, I will admit. But I have not seen them, well, yeah, I'm already kind of giving it away. I have not taken the stuff out of the box to see what it is exactly. I'll have to get all into that here in just a little bit, but you guys saw the thumbnail. Big box, already got some parts in for the car. And I'm excited because it's kind of one of the reasons why I completely started to redo the roll cage. It was one of the things that factored in. So let's get to opening that box. All right, well, before we get to the big box, we got a little box here. And I saw these on the internet the other day. And my boys at TRZ, you guys know we go way back with them, and we'll have all of their G-body pieces on the Cutlass eventually. They came out with these and posted them on the internet, and for us fabricators and stuff like that, they're awesome. So this is their new shock mount tab, and you can see it's already profiled to fit a 1 5/8 roll bar or piece of tubing, and set up for a 1 inch wide shock. They have that style, as well as, well, hold on, let's get into this. If you're going the other way on the tube. So I think this is going to be the one we're going to use on the Cutlass, because I plan to have rails that go straight over the rear end. Like, we're going to plan it out, you know, when the bar goes straight over the rear end, that'll be, this will mount whoop, on the bottom of the bar to be right where the shock goes. We're not quite needing these just yet, but I can tell you that if they had had these a while back, we would have already used them in some other stuff. But new thing from TRZ Motorsports, freaking sweet. Look even better in person than they do on the internet. And I got some of their aluminum ball joints that they make in-house. Well, it's not like, that's not aluminum, but they make this ball joint for their upper control arms. And I got the 10-degree version because planning on the old Cutlass being slammed on the ground, which there may be some design considerations for that when it comes to the front suspension, because having it slammed on the ground on the street may be a little bit of a problem. So thinking ahead, I was actually talking with Will about this last night. Thinking ahead, we may try and do something with a double upper shock mount or something. We'll have to see what that looks like when we actually get there. But big box. Big box. And you guys can see it says Race Tech on it. Yes, I have ordered myself some Race Tech seats for the Cutlass. And we have used these in quite a few other cars. Grant's car's got one. The Viper's got one. I had one in the Lexus burnout car, actually, when I had my big crash. And they are extremely comfortable seats, as well as very safe seats. See, it's already mounted in there. Now mine, I have ordered more to fit me. Grant is a lot bigger guy than I am, so he's got seats that fit him. The seat that was in my Lexus was a bigger seat that was actually a takeout out of another car that needed to have a time-dated seat to be legal for the series that it was racing in. So got that seat and put it in the Lexus. Still a good, safe seat, but didn't fit me all that great. But these are supposed to fit me really well. So let's get them out of the box and see. I've got seats, the lower seat mounts, which we may or may not use. Probably will use them. Yeah, anyways, let's get them out. And I also got a back brace, which also may or may not use. We'll see how that all works out in the roll cage stuff, but just go real time with this. See if we can get all these things out of here. Somehow they managed to get 2 seats in this box. And yes, you can tell the box has been opened, but we have not. Who's out front with a backhoe? We've not actually taken them out of the bubble wrap yet. Actually, you know what? I need a blanket. These things are too nice to lay on the concrete floor. Do we have some new blankets? Yes. Get this out of here. All right. It's actually not as heavy as I made it sound like, but with the containment seat there, it's kind of stuck. All right, one of these boxes in here should also be seat side rails. Let's see if I can get lucky to get 4. Ah, yep. That's the side mounts. So basically there's a second one of these in the box. Now, let's see if I can open this up and still be able to keep it. Okay, there's a secondary bag. That's good. I'm trying to protect these things, you know, they're nice seats. Am I even getting the seat in the picture? No. There we go. All right, so I'm taking this out now, but I'll be putting it back in the bag for putting it in and out of the car because we want to protect this seat. And when the car is finished, I want it to be all nice and fresh looking in there. All right, so what I'm gonna do is bolt the side rails to it. And then we're gonna set it on the chassis because it kind of matters with what we're gonna be doing as far as some of the underfloor tubing. Well, it may not actually be underfloor, but you guys will see more about that later. Alrighty, let's sit in this thing for the first time. Oh yeah, that fits me nice. Oh. The holes are good for the seat. Ooh, that is comfortable too. Nice and tight on the side of my legs here. Tight on the shoulders. That actually doesn't feel too bad seating wise either. Maybe just a little bit further back. We'll play with that later when we get it in the car. But see, it's got head protection, which I really think this should be kind of high on your priority list if you're building a street car with a funny car cage, because on the street you're not wearing a helmet, and if somebody, you get into a, you know, heaven forbid you get into an accident on the street that's not your fault or is your fault, either way, your head hitting a roll bar is not a good thing. So at least if you have a funny car cage around you, the seat should catch you before your head. We're not invincible. Your head will lose when it comes to a fight with a roll bar. So anyways, one other feature of this seat that we may or may not utilize for our drag and drive stuff is you can kind of see it's got a little hole in the back of the seat right there because it's got a tube that we could hook up and blow air, outside air, on our like lower backs. And I don't know if it's just a me thing, but like that's typically where I start sweating first on the drag and drive stuff, or anytime you're sitting in a seat for a long time. Like, seems to be like my lower back is part of my shirt that gets soaked the earliest. So one of the things Race Tech has done is, it's more a road race thing, like an endurance road race thing, to blow air in there, but we've got the option of using that, and we just may do that. But I am super excited about them. Always liked Race Tech seats. Eddie wants a Race Tech seat.
I do. I want a Race Tech seat so bad. Let me get this one.
No, that's mine, and it fits me really good.
It fits me really good too. I'm a little chunkier than you, but you know.
All right, so now that we've got the brackets on it, and the reason for how this relates to starting over with the roll cage is that the roll cage that was in the previous chassis didn't really give me any movement as far as moving the seat around at all inside of the funny car cage that was there. So since we are starting new, we can make sure we have plenty of room and can put the seat closest to the center line of the car and still get the funny car cage around it. All right, so the reason that the seats actually matter right now is because I'm kind of wanting to make sure that the underfloor tubing is gonna line up somewhat with where the seat mounts need to be. So we have an underfloor bar we have to do, or under seat bar we have to do. That's part of the spec. We also have a cross member we need to do for the drive shaft loop. And then there's supposed to be a center X there. Bar this way, bar that way. So it's really going to be, you know, almost 6 legs, like a star kind of thing in the middle there. And I plan to run a drive shaft enclosure similar to what we built for the Camaro over there. And that gives me a little bit of room to move the underfloor bar forward and aft a little bit. And yeah, if you guys are paying attention, I did that bar and I did that bar. I did it off camera. Actually, I started filming something the other night. Just wasn't feeling it and shut the cameras off and went home because I was tired. Kind of like my leftovers of my Vegas trip. That was a tough trip. It was awesome, but it wore me out. Anyways, so based on some measurements here, you can see this is about where the back of the gear vendor should be. And I did some measurements based off of the gear vendor we have over there. So the drive shaft loop should kind of be like, if it was a regular loop, it should be somewhere about here. This mark here is the center of this dimension measuring over to this dimension. And just for looks, I kind of want to do the underfloor bar right there. The seat though, I don't plan on being, like, definitely the base of the seat will be forward, but maybe the very top of the seat might be behind the main hoop. So that's going to factor into kind of where I put this. And because the Race Tech has so many mounts there, I should be able to put that cross member kind of where it looks the best and also has the best function for what I need. Now, as far as design considerations, I have to think of, this car may not always have a gear vendor on it. So, you know, if you think about, you know, back of the gear vendor is here, well, that puts the drive shaft starting point up here. So then this drop here is going to be excessive. But if we ever run the car without the gear vendors, you know, now the drive shaft is going to start somewhere up here, because Turbo 400, the back of the transmission is basically, I think it's about 2 inches longer than the transmission mount. And this is about where the center line of the transmission mount should be. So now starting here with the drive shaft, you know, if we're talking about a big 4-inch drive shaft too, that's when you run into problems with running the drive shaft into your cross member. But also, if we just did this bar straight, you can see how that may cause us a problem with even this bar. So this bar may have to go down some as well. That's going to be a lot of math and estimating that I'm going to do off camera, because it's really just going to be a lot of me thinking. Anyways, that's part of building these cars. Like, there's part of me that wants to get a chassis jig, and if we continue doing cars like this, I'm going to have a more official of a chassis jig. Like the thing we built the Camaro on, we squared it all up real nice and everything, and it's effectively a chassis jig, but it allows for some movement. Where if we had a solid chassis jig and then we just had like little braces that would go down, that kind of simulates the ground almost. It's a better way to do it. But we got to see if we're going to be building more cars like this, or more just like, you know, cars based off of stock architecture. which is kind of my car, but as you can tell, this is pretty much a full racing chassis built inside the confines of a stock chassis. So I'm gonna go do some thinking, and then we're gonna start time lapse, and we'll figure out where we're gonna put these bars and mocking the seat up, and then we'll put some more bars in this thing. Woohoo! All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for this video. And only got one bar in. I guess technically we got 3. We got that one in, we got that one in, and we got that one in. We got 4 more started, and 2 of them are the same because of the offset. Now, if I were to center them on the 1 5/8 tube, they would all be the exact same tube. At least, you know, that one would be, you just would flip it over and install it there and there. But because I have offset the notches, which you can tell by how that's got a lot more tube hanging off of one side than the other, it's going to tuck down there flat. You can see I kind of measured a little long there, but that will get notched. It'll weld to both joints. Ended up deciding that's where that was going to go. Did a bunch more measuring kind of off camera, and I'm going with it. So if I need to make any adjustment to where the transmission is fore and aft, I will do it in the middle section of the cross member that gets the flanges and is removable. So we'll get these done in the next video. Excited about my Racetech seats. Real excited about that. And we might even get the continuation of the under seat bars done in the next video as well. So that would be 4 more small bars, and that would be all of the center section underfloor bars. So that's pretty exciting. I had to get this video done earlier in the week because today, being Sunday, this video is coming out on Sunday, I'm out at the Gator Nationals with Clay Milliken. So hopefully I've already done one video for Friday. This is actually Thursday when I'm filming this, but going out to the track with Clay tomorrow through Sunday. And then Sunday evening, I will be actually down here working again because I'm trying to get this thing cranking. And once I get these out, or these knocked out, then we'll take it loose from the chassis, flip it over on the bench, weld it. The main reason I have to pop it out is to wrap these welds where the frame, you know, they're on top of the frame. So you can tell that, you know, where this tube joins this tube on top of this piece of frame. Well, I can't weld that without taking it out of the car. And I'm big on welding all the way around my tube joints. So anyways, appreciate everybody watching and subscribing. Thank you all. Big thanks to everybody that bought shirts. Hopefully you maybe saw the video, and if you didn't know we had shirts and merch, go to winwithksr.com and pick up some merch. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys next time.